minutes playing their hearts out. 60 minutes knowing that every single play, every single practice that they run, the 2-a-days that start in the summer, the fact that they know that they're going to have practice going until 8 o'clock at night, and then they got to go watch film, and then they need to go do their work, and then, by the way, they're back up at 5 o'clock in the morning for PT. They put everything into this sport. And they put everything in the sport for these 60 minutes, because for all those who know that you could have an amazing season, but if you lose Army-Navy, it was a bad year. This game is that important to these two teams. But here's what happens. At the end of the game, after playing for 60 minutes, they each get up. The Army side marches over to the Navy side, and they sing the Navy alma mater. The Navy side gets up and they march over to the Army side, and they sing the Army alma mater. There's something so beautiful about what is known as America's game. It's the fact that they know they will put in the work. And they'll put in the work with a clear understanding to win. But they'll also do it at the end of the day knowing that the people who they are competing against, those are still very much their brothers in work. That the people who you're competing against, the one guarantee I can give you about every single one of those midshipmen or every single one of those cadets is that when they graduate, they're all about to go lead soldiers or they're all about to go lead sailors. They're all about to take on a real responsibility. They're all Americans. And so when people were talking about what happened with Maryland that made Maryland so unique in this election cycle, that made Maryland such an anomaly, that, you know, as we have, and by the way, I do want to give a shout out to all of our remarkable elected leaders, our mayors, our county executives, this extraordinary congressional delegation that we have. The people who are actively out there putting the work in every single day. And people say, well, what happened that made Maryland so unique at a time when we had this red wave around the country, but in Maryland, we're getting ready to send April Delaney to the Congress. We're getting ready to send Johnny Olszewski to the Congress. We're getting ready to send Sarah Elford to the Congress. We're getting ready to send Angela Alsobrooks to the U.S. Senate. What happened? We have just put reproductive health in Maryland's state constitution. What happened? And the answer is pretty simple, guys. Is that this group, this team, our candidates, they were willing to both put in the work and they were willing to understand that we are going out here and fighting for all Marylanders. Not people who live in certain jurisdictions. Not people who vote a certain way. Not people who have a certain family lineage or a certain family background. We fight for them all. Every one of them. And at the end of the day, we know we will compete, and we will compete hard. And as we saw, because of the hard work you put in 22, we had a great year. In 24, we had a great year. In 26, in Maryland, we will have a great year. We're going to keep this party going.
Yep.
And at the end of the competition, one thing we never forget is that the people we are fighting for is we are not fighting for people of a party. We're not fighting for people of a neighborhood or a community. We're Team Maryland. And we fight for them all. And results do matter. And so in this time when we have an opportunity and we have an obligation to show people that results actually do matter, that when we can work together, when we can be aligned, when we can move in partnership the way we're moving in partnership with our state and our local and our federal leadership, when we know that we are singing with one chorus, one set of alignment, and when we can turn around and say that we've got the results to show that the work matters, When we tell people that coordinated, we are going to deal, and people say that we want to deal with the issue of public safety, and we can say, well, you know what's happened in just this past year? That because we've actually chosen to work together on the issue of public safety, because we've decided to take an all-of-the-above approach when it comes to public safety. While we know we still have work to do, let's be very clear that in Maryland, we are now not just bucking trends, but leading national trends when it comes to increased public safety. We now have, across the state of Maryland, homicides are down 22%, non-fatals are down 27%, auto theft is down in the